Okay, so welcome to a special version of the F Word. We're going to feature a grand final special with Howard Lee from the Sunday Herald Sun and Daniel Paproth from Fairfax Newspapers. I'm Brent Diamond. Obviously, Port Melbourne and Geelong in the grand final this week. It's going to be an absolute classic at Etihad Stadium. We're here at the moment just post-press conferences. And obviously, who's your tip, Howie, for this one? It's going to be a classic, isn't it?
Well, I think it'll be a draw. I mean, you toss a coin. I mean, Geelong have got to speed the AFL back up. Port Melbourne, as Gary Ayres said at the press conference, they've lost, half their side, more than half their side from 2011 when they were a super side. So it's a very difficult one to pick a winner.
It is unbelievable. I mean, it's going to be one of those games where you don't know if Port Melbourne are going to jump out the blocks. They've got a good record, obviously, at Etihad Stadium after winning the grand final last year.
Yes.
But Geelong, you don't know what you're going to get with them. They've had a real few tight finishes, haven't they, leading up to this one. And qualifying final, I suppose what that'll have at stake, and then obviously the Box Hill game after that. They put a lot of energy into those two games, and then obviously against Werribee on the weekend.
Yes,
so
it was an energy finish.
You want to know exactly what you're going to get. Daniel, obviously, what's your tip out of this match here?
Yeah, look, I'm going for Port Melbourne. I think that qualifying final a couple of weeks ago was just one of the best games of footy, VFL footy you could ever see. And look, I just think they have lost a lot of players. They've lost some class, Port Melbourne, but I think particularly over the last probably 3-4 weeks, they've just really started playing 4 quarters of football, which they hadn't been doing from sort of mid-season through to late season. And Gary Ayres spoke today in the press conference saying that there's a bit of a fallacy that they can't handle speed, but they do have some unheralded players. And I think Port Melbourne, it's going to be a tough game, and there's absolutely no certainties here. But look, I'm tipping Port Melbourne probably by 2 or 3 goals.
2 or 3 goals. The key is the midfield. Both coaches agree with that. I mean, Port have got all the tough insiders, haven't they? Pinwell, Dillon's a late additive, Valenti, Baird, they're all tough midfielders. Geelong have got the speed. Shannon Burns, you spoke to last Sunday, Brent, he's been a great player, kicked a great goal last week, then a 55-metre goal when the Cats are under pressure. But I just see that Keys, Wade Skipper got a rep from Matthew Knights, but he's going in against those 2 giant men.
Well, Oren Stevenson, he had a hand injury, didn't he?
He did, but he played a top game, didn't he? He wouldn't talk to the media after the game.
Wouldn't, no.
I approached him, I hooked up to him. And of course, Dawson Simpson is a giant, but can they run all day, those two? Stevenson's much trimmer than when he played at North Carolina.
He's in the form of his life. Wasn't he brilliant with those 2 big marks up forward against Werribee too? It was excellent. But it's going to come down to the midfield, like you said. I mean, on a fast ground like Etihad, it's going to really come down to the limit. I'm going for Port Melbourne. It'll be a huge thing for them to win back-to-back flags. Huge story for VFL footy.
Yes.
Howie, what's your final
I'm going for a draw, and I'll play extra time. It's no good for your deadline.
It isn't. That's right. We'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for tuning in, and have a good weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.